Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
That no one should be celebrating anyone's death in a way that they are, unless it's in a respectful manner.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Protests continue around the nation as racially fueled tensions continue firing in the wake of 3 slain officers in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This follows the murder of 5 police officers in Dallas, Texas, just over a week ago, and the widely viewed live stream and cell phone videos showing the situations with Alton Sterling and Philando Castile. We wanted to know how you feel, and our own Bradford Eric spent the day listening to your thoughts on what's happening nationwide, even as some took to social media celebrating the police killings.
I think that's what sets the wrong tone across the country today. That further escalates these type of actions that take place. We shouldn't be going and condoning anything. That's taking justice into our own hands, just as they feel that maybe some police departments are doing.
Well, personally, I feel that it's a terrible thing. Black or white, or any race for that matter. I feel that it's becoming a lot bigger of an issue than what it needs to be and what it should be. It's easy to stand out being black, but you can also stand out if you cause or force yourself to stand out. But I feel that the stereotypic type of black males nowadays have changed from good to worse to even more worse.
I think it's really sad. I think everybody just needs to stop and think about the fact that everybody's human and the pigment of your skin does not matter, and that police are there to protect us.
Yeah, I think the questions they're asking are legitimate. I know there's been a lot of discussion, debate on whether or not the method they're going by it is, valid, and I'm not going to get into that, but I think they're, people who have experienced, those sorts of situations are, they've known about it for years. A lot of people just assume this is a new thing. I don't think it is a new thing.
I guess my thoughts are one tragedy after the next, and it's difficult to even process each one as they come. I'm hoping that our nation looks at what's happening in terms of a compromise between the two seeming like completely divided factions in our country.
Police departments in the Twin Cities have been threatened with violence, and at least one department there has taken to having at least 2 officers per patrol vehicle. Here in Fargo, the police department says it's not looking to adopt any similar measures. Today, at the scene of the fatal shootout in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a makeshift memorial is growing as people come to pay their respects to the fallen officers. Investigators say the gunman was carrying 2 rifles and a 9mm handgun during the ambush. They say he snuck up behind police officers and shot them at close range.
In this ongoing investigation, the most compelling piece of evidence is the video. It is the chilling and the sheer brutality of the shooting. There is no doubt whatsoever that these officers were intentionally targeted and assassinated. It was a calculated act against those who work to protect this community every single day.
Investigators have identified the gunman as Gavin Long from Kansas City. One of the attorneys representing Andrew Sadek's family is facing a drug charge. Lance Block was arrested back in June after police say he bought cocaine from an undercover officer. A longtime friend of Block's released the following statement. He has suffered a really tough year marked by a divorce, a recent diagnosis of prostate cancer, and obviously a relapse in his struggles with addiction. The Sadek family filed a wrongful death lawsuit in connection with the death of their son. Attorney Tim O'Keefe says Block's arrest should not impact their case. Grand Forks police are alerting the public about a high-risk sex offender who was recently released from jail and is now living in the community. Juan Hernandez is living in the 400 block of 4th Street North in Grand Forks. He was convicted of rape in 2002. Authorities say he entered a woman's home without consent. He then held a knife to her throat and said he would kill her if she didn't have sex with him. Hernandez was also convicted of criminal sexual conduct for having sex with underage girls. Today has been hot, but nothing compared to the heat coming in a couple of days. Let's go over to Hutch, the Weather Center, Hutch Johnson, to check out tonight's forecast. Hutch?
Andrea, tonight we have warm temperatures across the valley, and it looks like it'll stay that way for the majority of us. There is a few showers showing up along and north of Highway 2, moving through the Devil's Lake area now. These are fast movers, so they won't amount to much, a few hundredths in the rain gauge likely. They're moving to the east at 50 miles per hour, so they'll continue to progress eastward this evening. 80s for the next 3 or 4 hours here in Fargo-Moorhead before succumbing to the 70s. It'll be a quiet evening and enjoyable out there. Get out and enjoy while you can. 70s in Grand Forks and in Fergus Falls for most of the evening. The wind fairly light. And then as we take a look, the thunderstorm chances aren't the big deal, but the heat is. We have an excessive heat watch for most of our Red River Valley counties. This is in effect Wednesday and Thursday. And in fact, I think the heat begins tomorrow. So be prepared. We'll talk more about what you can do to keep yourself and your four-legged furry critters safe from the heat here in a moment.
And we're talking heat. I mean, this is
this is shed the long johns heat.
Yeah.
Serious stuff.
We shed those a long time ago, didn't we?
I think
Come
so.
on.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
As our temps rise this week, so do concerns for people spending time outside. Doctors are reminding people who will be outdoors to stay hydrated and seek shelter from the sun. Signs of heat stroke or exhaustion include dizziness, fatigue, and confusion. Doctors add it's important to listen to kids when they tell you how they're feeling when it comes to playing in the heat.
Everybody knows who has children. It's Mom, I'm thirsty, I need a drink, or I'm hungry. And if we are able to listen to what those kids are telling us, they tend to be able to take good care of themselves.
If someone is suffering from heat exhaustion or stroke, the best thing for people to do is bring them indoors, out of the heat, and give them fluids, or call an ambulance for more help. And today, firefighters are taking extra precautions to avoid heat-related illnesses. Fargo Fire Battalion Chief Craig Nelson says crews that responded to a business fire in North Fargo this morning were encouraged to drink lots of water. Nelson says FM ambulance was also on scene to make sure no one was dehydrated. The fire was reported at the SunOpta sunflower plant just off 39th Street and 15th Avenue North. Nelson says the fire started in a wall but was contained. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. In tonight's Schemes and Ripoffs, a warning to everyone who uses Facebook. Be careful who you're friends with. A Fargo man was nearly scammed after accepting a friend request from someone named Ronaldo James at Ford. The man was told he won a new Ford vehicle and that he only needed to send $400 for fees. A spokesperson with Luther Family Ford in Fargo says it's not from their Facebook page. Their page has an official blue check mark. The spokesperson also added they have heard of emails being sent out about a new VIP program, and that is also a scam. Thompson school leaders are hoping the fourth time will be the charm. Voters have now said no to a school expansion project 3 times. However, as Valley News Team's Neil Carlson shows us, school officials are betting voters will say yes during another August vote because this project carries a less expensive tab for taxpayers.
In May, an $11 million Thompson school expansion project failed by only 7 votes, and school leaders say it's a project they simply can't do without.
The why is because the need is real and genuine, and this is about providing the resources and the space that the teachers and the kids need to provide the high-quality education Thompson's known for.
Officials say they're simply running out of space. Enrollment is forecast to grow from just under 500 students to over 600 students within the next 10 years. They've already had to turn a music room and computer lab into classrooms. The project also includes an expanded lunchroom that won't require 5 shifts to serve all the students. The project also includes one secure area for everyone to enter the school. Superintendent John Mouse says he thinks folks are ready to say yes during an August vote.
Well, again, from the feedback we've received and people just not being able to vote that day and coming and saying they thought it would pass. There's been a lot more than 7 people coming tell us that.
Mouse says this time they're using more of the school's tax revenue stream and reserve money to fund the $11 million project. He says now the owner of a $200,000 home would pay around $550 a year in increased taxes. That's around $60 less than the previous proposal. In Thompson, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
That Thompson School Expansion Project vote is scheduled for August 23rd. If you would like detailed information, including a tax calculator regarding the project, we have a link to it online. Just go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
Tonight on Valley News Live 10 at 10, we tell you if the Woof Washer 360 really can wash your dog as fast as 1, 2, and 3.
Tonight on Valley News Live 10 at 10, we test out another As Seen on TV product. This time it goes to the dogs. The Woof Washer 360 is supposed to work for all types of dogs and be very fast. Reporter Ashley Bishop finds out if the product is worth the money. The Minnesota Twins have fired their general manager, Terry Ryan. The mired Twins are in the bottom of the American League Central Division, winning only 33 games this season. Ryan has been with the Twins for more than 40 years, serving 2 stints as general manager. Twins owner and CEO Jim Pohlad calls the decision to part ways with Ryan difficult and painful. Rob Antony will take over as interim general manager. He is the team's vice president and assistant general manager.